Andy Sullivan from Conservative Commandos. I'm here at the Brooklyn GOP headquarters, and I'm here with Gene Baradelli. Gene, how about Obama and the big spike? What do you think about this whole thing about really drumming up the whole thing about the bin Laden kill?
Who would have thought that a president would exploit this for all it's worth? I mean, I think we all saw this coming a mile away. We saw the poll numbers. We saw how it's been dropping. Unemployment's over 8% for a record 38 months now. He needs to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative on his end. This is the biggest positive that he can give. But it was a team victory. This is what I don't get. And the team was our boys and girls overseas that have been doing such an amazing job for us.
Well, you see, that's the thing. He seems like he's always saying, I did this, I made the call, I made this, and I did that. You nearly think that he went in there himself with the, with the artillery and killed him and shot his head himself.
Absolutely right. And you know what? He was just over in Afghanistan today, and he's giving a shout-out to all the different units there, and then he says, and then I'm in the house as well.
Unbelievable.
Seriously, I mean, when does it end? When does the backslapping for all the good he's done end, and all the stuff that is wrong that belonged to the Republicans and George Bush, when does that end as well? It's nonstop from this president.
And you know something? I could almost swallow the whole spiking of football thing if not for him saying if Mitt Romney was in the same position, he wouldn't have made that call. I think that was the real thing that blew it out of the water for everyone.
You know, nothing burns people more than when you politicize the military. And he gave a speech today with military equipment in the background with flags draped on it, and it was basically a stump speech. When you politicize the military, I think you cross a line. And hopefully the American people will start seeing this president for what he really is. And he is desperate now for these votes. He sees that the Republicans are going to coalesce behind Mitt Romney, and he knows he's in trouble come November.
There's actually been some SEALs who've come out and pretty much told the president, hey, cool it.
And rightfully so. The military should never be politicized. If you want to talk about a budget for our military, fine. If you want to talk about, the great things that the military does, the military is not Republican. The military is not Democrat. The military is our own, our people.
It's American.
It's America, exactly right. And to make that the hallmark right now, this week at least, of your political campaign, when for the past year you haven't talked about anything going on in Afghanistan, kind of convenient, and also kind of sickly if you ask me. I think it's one of the lowest things he's done since he's been in office. It really is low.
Okay, here's another one. For Vice, for Romney, who do you like?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot.
Now, Chris Christie, this just in, the big guy said, Romney's a little convincing. Maybe this, maybe that. He's playing this little cat and mouse game. What do you think?
Well, I'm sure everybody in the Conservative Commandos would love to see Chris Christie.
Actually, I don't know. Rick might have a little problem with it.
Yeah, and by the way, shout out to Rick. We miss you from CPAC, and we'll be getting in touch with you real soon. My personal pick, I like Marco Rubio, but I like him for reasons different than what everybody else says.
What reasons?
I think his conservative credentials are what's going to be more important rather than his ethnicity. Ann Coulter said at one point, when you look at the Hispanic vote that Romney is losing, where is it based in? It's based in New York, it's based in California, and it's based in Florida, and for some extent the Southwest. Mitt Romney knows he's going to lose New York. Sorry, guys, he's losing New York. He knows he's going to lose California. He knows that the Hispanic community in Florida, they will come out for Republicans much as they have in the past. So Marco Rubio being the choice is not going to shore up any type of Hispanic vote, but it will shore up conservative credentials, and it will get the younger Tea Party wing of the party.
What about Arizona? That's another state that they've been, that's really kind of up for grabs right now. I think a Rubio would sound pretty good on a ticket.
He would. We don't want to go down the line with another Arizona senator, I don't think. I don't think John Kyle would be a good fit. And we just went through a whole presidential cycle with John McCain. So I think you'll see a Rubio that will get behind him. That's my top choice. I don't see Chris Christie doing it because you'll have two Northeast Republicans. That's going to really tee off a lot of people down south. And that might hurt Romney. So
I totally agree with that. I don't like Chris Christie as the vice.
That's right. Of course you agree.
Now, here's something a little bit local. New York Assembly. They are looking to pass this New York State DREAM Act. Very similar to the national one that got shot down. Gene, what are your thoughts on this? This thing passed 136-3 in the Assembly. Now, this is a piece of legislation whereby legal immigrants' children will have privately funded institutions whereby they can go to college.
It's another example of what we do here in New York. I mean, am I surprised that it passed? No. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Look, it speaks for itself. I think the position is the same position we've been holding on the federal legislation.
It seems like we're treating foreigners better than the citizens themselves.
I would agree with that. We got 1 minute to showtime here on Brooklyn.
1 minute to showtime at Brooklyn GOP. Gene's off and running. Thank you, Gene Baradelli.